Hello, well today I'm going to be installing the left-hand side of a Woodcraft frame slider and a 2005-2006 Kawasaki ZX-6R 636. I already installed the right-hand side. The right-hand side is fairly easy. Just install it right onto the front engine bolt. First you remove it, then you go ahead and the instructions are pretty simple. Just install it with the new base using the new bolt, and then you attach the actual puck on it. So that side is fairly trivial. The left-hand side is not so much, because you do not have access to the front engine bolt, which is hidden behind this plastic. It's mounted about an inch in. Half inch to an inch. So a hole needs to be cut, partial hole, right about that, but we do not know the center of it. So we don't know where to put a mark, and we don't know where to put the pilot hole, and then drill a nice hole using a 2 1/8, 2 1/4 inch drill bit. So there are a lot of solutions online. The more popular one is to use a fairly inexpensive laser, and you remove the side fairing, you place the laser on a tripod with the side fairing off, you go ahead, line up the laser to the bolt, put the side fairing on, go ahead, make your mark, and take the plastic off. Well, I do not have a tripod, and I was sitting in bed one morning and thought that there would be an easier way to do that. Figure that with the tripod would have to be positioned quite some ways away from the bike, and you need some room to actually get the plastic back on. So came up with this little idea. It's about 8 inches long. Each leg is 2 inches. So the idea is that it has 2 holes in it. One hole for just big enough for the engine bolt to go through. So you remove the plastic, the side fairing. You remove the engine bolt on the left-hand side. This happens to be the engine bolt from the right-hand side, but for this instruction I'll just pretend it's the left. Remove the plastic, take the bolt out. In between the bike and the bolt, place this little jig here. Place that. Take our inexpensive laser pointer. Pop it through the hole, like such. Hit the button. Line it up. And once you get it to be in the position you want, use the glue gun to lock it into place. Take the bolt out, and install it like that. So I'm going to see if this works, and hopefully it can help a lot of people out. So just nice 90-degree bends here, done in a machine shop, fairly heavy gauge aluminum. Pretty easy piece to make, and that's my idea, so I will fill you in throughout the process. Alright, so I just got done applying the hot glue around on both sides of the laser pointer. So now it is fairly well locked in. Let's see, hit the button, and as you can see, we're pretty much dead centered on that bolt. I'm wiggling a little bit, it is locked in fairly well, and hopefully it's strong enough so we don't have too much sway. So let me get the left side fairing off, and we'll go from there. Got 3 bolts up top, 2 bolts down here. There is a little hidden internal little nipple inside of there. We got a bolt here and a bolt here, so I'll get that off. Again, that's fairly trivial, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we got the left-hand side fairing off. Just an additional note, there were 2 extra bolts that came in from inside the, let's call it the wheel well here. It came in 8mm bolts that kind of hold this plastic piece on, and it actually comes out. So you could have pushed up and down on this all as one assembly, but it is just kind of easier to take those out if you can get them out. More power to you. The light is mounted to the side fairing. Just kind of twist it out and pull it out, and you're all set. So here is the bolt in question here. So let's see how we make out, because I am noticing that it isn't a flat surface here. It does come down. So let's see. Maybe we can come in from the back side, or I'll let you know. Yeah, alright, so since that we don't have a nice flat piece to this little curved surface to mount on, took the bolt out, the engine bolt out. It does have a nut that holds it all together on the back side. It's over on my workbench right now. So I placed the right-hand side engine bolt in my apparatus here, only because it's longer. I tried installing it like this, but there's too much material here that the fairing hits, and if I cut that out or cut some of the fairing out, it won't look right when I cut my hole. So I think I have something if I install it like this, and there is some good tension in there, getting that in there. So right now we have it like that. As you can see, there is a gap there, but there is some tension there, so everything should line up. When I do hit my laser, our mark is good. So we're just a little bit up and left of center, but that gets us in a pretty good spot here. So when we put our fairing over, we're in pretty good shape. I can get the holes to pretty much line up. Everything's good, and we are hitting right here. So I'm going to remove a little bit of material from the aluminum using my jigsaw, and I'll see what I can come up with. Alright, I now have my metal cut. I came down and then over to allow for the slot there. Now for the jig to fit. So now what I'm going to do is place it on the bike with the little slot facing up. Line my holes, and sure enough, we have enough room. So I'm going to go put some tape right here, so I have something to mark on, bolt up the fairing, and make my mark.